Hi guys, I think it's been a while since I've been live on this page. By the way, if you want to catch more of my live videos, make sure that you're part of my free community, and I'm going to be posting the link in the comments. So if you're watching the replay, the link is probably already there. If you're watching me live, I'll post it right after. But come into my free community, and that's where I show up and I connect with you guys more often. So yeah, it's called Living Vibrantly Wellness Warriors. Let me know where you're watching from, if you're watching live or watching the replay. And so I wanted to share with you guys, I just thought this was really interesting. So recently I have been reading, or I finished not too long ago, this book. It's probably backwards for you. It's called The Four Tendencies by Gretchen Rubin. And it's all about 4 personality types. And this doesn't describe like every aspect of personality, but it's an important aspect of personality. And it's how we respond to goals coming from inside. So goals we set from ourselves, and goals coming from outside. Goals that are like societal expectations, or goals that somebody else requests of us. And so kind of depending on if you reject both, if you accept both types of goals, or if you reject one and you accept the other, that's what determines which of the 4 types you are. And I'm going to go through them. And as you listen to the 4 types, let me know which type you think you are. But the reason I wanted to make this video is I think that I've just been thinking about how this affects my clients. So you guys know I lead virtual support groups, basically online fitness and nutrition accountability groups. And as I was reading this book, again, it's called The Four Tendencies, it was occurring to me that this could explain a lot of why these groups seem to work really well for some people, and for other people, they don't work as well. So I'll tell you more about how I'm going to be incorporating these concepts into the groups that I offer. But first, let me go through the 4 types and tell me in the comments which one you think you are. And I'll tell you at the end what I am. So the first type is pretty rare, according to the author, but it's called, she came up with these terms. She calls it the upholder, which is someone who easily upholds every type of goal, internal or external. So they're people who just meet goals very easily. It's like set a goal and then you follow through with it. And they wonder why everyone else seems to have trouble meeting goals. They're like, why can't everybody do this the way I do? So just for example, like this is someone who they just set a New Year's resolution and then they do it. Or maybe they think New Year's resolutions are dumb because they're like, I don't need for it to be January for me to just set a goal and follow through with it, because I do that all the time. So whether it's something they decide they're going to do, and it doesn't really matter if they have external accountability or not, but or if they're meeting deadlines at work, completing their work for a class, following through on like a training schedule for a race, like any of those things are basically, those things all just come easily to them. So let me know if you think that's you, or if you know somebody like that. But these people are very effective at, when they set a fitness or a nutrition goal or any type of goal for themselves, they just follow through with it. It's easy for them to change the way they eat. It's easy for them to change their own habits. And probably the biggest drawback is they just can become really impatient with other people who have more trouble with following through with goals. So that's the upholder. Now this is the type that I am, this next one I'm going to describe, and that's called the obliger. This is someone who has an easier time meeting external goals. So like maybe getting good grades in school, finishing their homework. Those would be like early signs. They don't have any trouble like remembering when they have assignments due. And in adult life, you are good at meeting deadlines. When somebody says, I need something from you by this day, that's just like very effective to get you to complete it by that date. when other people are expecting something of you. But maybe you have more trouble when it's a goal that you set for yourself. Those are not as important to you, not as high priority, and maybe there are things you want to do for yourself, but you just feel like you don't know how to follow through. So that first type, the upholder, they basically don't need coaching. They don't need, somebody holding them accountable because they can do it for themselves. The obliger, on the other hand, the person who responds well to external goals but has trouble with those internal ones, that's the person that can benefit the most from coaching. And that's why, that's why this clicked for me so much. That's why I decided to become a coach 4 years ago now, because I was part of one of these accountability groups and I was like, holy cow, like I've never given up sugar for 30 days in my life. And I just did it because I had this group that I was checking in with. And I knew that if I broke down and ate some candy that I'd have to tell everybody and they'd be disappointed. Or, I mean, I know they probably wouldn't really be that disappointed, but that was kind of the way that it motivated me. So that's the obliger. If you can relate to everything I was just saying, that might be you. Okay, the third type is called the questioner. And this is someone who responds well to those internal goals. Like they can set a goal for themselves and they can follow through with it. No problem. External goals are the ones they have trouble with. So, and basically the solution for this person is to take an external goal and make it internal if they're going to follow through with it. So they always have to understand why they're doing something. And that's why they're called the questioner. For example, it's not going to work for them to plug into one of my programs. I'll just be like, okay, I want you to lift heavier weights. They'll be like, why? I'm not just going to do that because you told me to. So for that type of person, I've realized it's very important for me to explain, well, strength training has many benefits. It's going to help you keep your metabolism high, to keep you to help you maintain a healthy weight. It's going to help you prevent diabetes. It's going to help you prevent depression, prevent dementia as you grow older. There are many benefits to strength training. So once the questioner understands that, then the goal becomes internal. Once they decide it's something they want to do for themselves, then they have no problem following the program, changing their habits, reaching the goal once they understand why they're doing it. Okay, and now the fourth type, last type, is the rebel. And this is the person who resists all goals, internal or external. Pretty much, like if you ask them to do something, it makes them not want to do it. And if they set a goal for themselves, it also makes them not want to do it. They just have this kind of contrarian impulse. And the way it's described in the book, this actually can be like, I don't know why I keep holding that up because I know that it's backwards, but just as a reference to what I'm talking about for those who are getting on late, the Four Tendencies by Gretchen Rubin. The rebel personality type, they actually often get frustrated with themselves because here's this goal that they really do want and they can't figure out how to make themselves follow through. And, same thing with, like, they recognize that it's kind of ridiculous. They're like, actually, so there's such a thing as, there's your main type and then there's tendencies within that. So, I was talking with a friend and teammate and she was saying that she's an upholder with rebel tendencies. Okay. So, obliger with rebel tendencies, but that rebel tendency part would show up where it's like, she said she didn't want to say happy birthday to people because she feels like it's expected, right? And you might actually want the person to have a happy birthday, but just the fact that you're expected to say that, you're like, oh, I don't want to. If you can relate to that, you might be a rebel. Or you might just have a rebel tendency. So which of those four resonated the most for you? What type do you think you are? And now in terms of how those apply to fitness goals, okay, we already talked, the upholder is someone who has no trouble with fitness goals, so they don't really need me. But on the other hand, this is just one aspect of your personality. So, if you're like sick of doing things by yourself, still plugging into that community might be a way to add some fun and a social aspect to your fitness goals. But from the accountability perspective, having an accountability group and a coach might not be so useful for an upholder. The obliger, the person who meets those external goals, that person is going to really benefit from putting the structure of an accountability group around their fitness goals. So if that's you, definitely reach out to me, because like I said at the beginning, I have a free community in addition to my paid programs, but there is a support group you can plug into, a group of just wonderful, supportive people, and just being able to go in there and say, I'm setting this goal and then I'm going to post every day. And once you said that publicly, it can actually be very powerful to have people expecting to hear from you and how you're doing on your goal. Okay, the questioner. You're someone who doesn't have trouble setting goals for yourself, so you follow through easily. In terms of fitness goals, it's just a matter of really understanding and internalizing. So if there's a goal that you feel you're having trouble following through with, the answer would be to do a little more research. And then the answer from my perspective as a coach is, I really want you to understand why I'm making the recommendations that I am. And I have questioner tendencies myself, so I understand this part. Like, I can read like so many articles about health, and I just find it fascinating. And actually on the nutrition side, the way that I finally have motivated myself to, I don't want to say cut sugar out of my diet because it's never complete, but to eat less sugar is learning about the connections between sugar and hormonal issues. And just realizing that, even if you don't have a weight problem, eating a lot of sugar isn't good for your health for other reasons. Even if you're not overweight, even if you're not pre-diabetic, there are other reasons. Okay. But so nothing was ever powerful enough until I really fully understood more about those connections for me. So as a questioner, if you're wanting to motivate yourself, or if you're working with someone who's a questioner, just having full information and logic and, rationalizing things, that helps a lot. All right. So for the rebel, this is the one that I think, the book was the most instructive for me, because that's someone who I'm like, I just don't know what to do. And they're frustrated. I'm frustrated as a coach, because the minute I suggest something to them, it makes them not want to do it. The minute they resolve to follow this plan, it makes them not want to do it. So what I learned in the book is rebels are motivated by their core values. That's one. And pleasure is the second. So pleasure is easy, right? And I have done this in my groups for a while, so maybe this explains why. Things like games and prizes motivate certain people, and then other people are really just more about I'm working out because I enjoy it. Well, that's pleasure, but I'm working out because of the health benefits, right? They don't need that external motivation necessarily, but if fitness bingo, we have prizes, weekly prizes, monthly prizes for everything. And, this is something that I guess I'm a little motivated by this too, but some people are really motivated by those prizes and games and things that are fun. So I think that's a way to motivate a rebel who is, they're like, yeah, I don't really, whatever, my health, you only live once, but to win that deluxe bath bomb that smells really delicious, that might be enough to motivate them to log their workouts for a week or a month. And then they actually have to do their workouts. Okay, the other thing that rebels are motivated by is when something is connected to their core values. So this was an interesting distinction for me. Okay, so why do you work out, right? There are different reasons we could name. You could say, I work out for, to look good. I work out for the health benefits. I I work out for stress relief. There are all these reasons, right? But when you connect it to a core value, the reason might be something more like, I work out because I'm someone who cares about my health. Or, you know, connecting it to like a family history of disease and wanting a different path for yourself, with these really deep emotional reasons. Now, this relates to something interesting. In the company that I'm part of, whenever we start a new program, we usually have people do some reflection on their deeper reason why they're doing the program. And because I wanted to keep an open mind and plug into this system and like do all the parts and everything I was being asked to do, because remember, I'm an obliger. So I would do this, but I just didn't find it necessarily all that compelling. It's not that it just felt like it wasn't essential for me. Like it's a good exercise, but I'm like, I kind of didn't need that. So, but for someone who is a rebel, this actually could be very useful, is what I realized. Thinking about like a very deep emotional reason why you want to lose weight, why you want to get in shape, why you want to be able to do more push-ups, whatever your goal is, or like, you know, if your goal is to lower your cholesterol, then okay, if that inner rebel in you is coming out and like, whatever, I just want to eat whatever I want. If you take it to that emotional level where it's like, I want to lower my cholesterol because I want to be around to see my kids grow up, okay? That is tapping into one of your core values. And I think, you know, this is the purpose of the exercise of finding your deeper reason why. And this is something that can be very useful for you if you're a rebel who is struggling with following through with fitness goals or any type of goal. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know which type you think you are, and if what I just said would be effective for you. And oh yeah, one last little bonus thing. So this, I moved on to another book, and it's called Finish by John Acuff, and it's about, well, it's kind of for people who like start a lot of projects and have a tough time finishing them. But the chapter I was reading today was about, it's also about what motivates you, and there's different types of people. So some people are motivated by reward, like something positive that you're going to get if you complete your goal. Other people are motivated by, well, I wrote this down wrong, but so it's either approach, that's the reward, or avoidance. So either you want to obtain something positive, or you want to avoid something negative. So that's another important thing to know about yourself. Personally, I think I am motivated more by avoidance, and that's like a fear-based mentality, and I don't really like that actually, but it is instructive in terms of thinking about like, if you have a goal and there's like no major consequence, if you don't hit your goal, then it's like, you know, you're a lot less motivated to hit it. That's kind of the, like, I've set positive rewards, like I'm going to get this, I'm going to purchase this thing I really want when I hit the goal. And, you know, it's just not enough. Where if something really terrible was going to happen, if I don't hit the goal, that would motivate me to push so much harder. So I need to figure something out for that. Like maybe, I don't know, setting some business goals, and maybe I'll like have somebody like donate $10,000 of my money to the opposite political party if I don't hit the goal. That would be motivating, but we'll see. That is another, kind of just another like way to slice it in terms of how you're motivated, but it's something to consider too. If you find that you have goals you want to pursue and things you want to do that you just are not following through on. So anyways, I'm going to wrap this up, but in closing, I just wanted to say that if you enjoy this kind of cerebral, philosophical take on fitness, health, nutrition goals, definitely join the free community. The link is going to be in the comments as soon as I finish up. So if you're watching the replay, it should be already there. But this is kind of my whole approach as a coach. So if enjoy it and want to be part of a group of people who also enjoy it, come hang out with us. All right, thanks for watching, guys. See you later.